So here I have this rectangle. I should probably name it. I'm going to go into my objects timeline panel and call this thumb. Okay. So this is our thumbnail. It's currently active. It's currently named. And just like I did before with the states, I'm going to turn it off now. I'm going to go down to the appearance section and collapse it. So when you collapse an object, you're removing it from the screen, although it's still there. A little different than opacity. Opacity is fading it out. This is simply taking it away. And now I'm going to add another behavior. So again, behaviors are these little snippets of code, these little prepackaged pieces of code that you can add to your projects. And just by looking at some of them, so there's a hyperlink action. So a hyperlink action, you could add this to any object and simply activate, put in a URL that would go to that web page. There's a bunch of other ones, mouse, drag, element behavior. So if you want to create a prototype and you want it to create, you want to allow the user to drag an object on the page, all you have to do is add this behavior, and that element becomes active, and now people can drag it. So the one that we want to do is called change property. So I'm going to drag that behavior, and I'm going to drop it right onto my circle. Like that. Now this will look familiar, because this is essentially what I did earlier with the activate state. It's just a little bit more complicated. So I have a trigger here, and you have to decide what the source of that trigger is. So in this case, I'm going to click on this little element picker just to confirm that it's the circle. And what I want to do is change the event to mouse enter. So when the user's mouse enters this area, I want something to happen. In this case, what do I want to happen? Well, I want this object, in this case, the thumbnail, I want this object to do something. What do I want it to do? Well, I want something to happen to the visibility. Okay. What do I want to happen? I want it to be visible. So here's the logic. Right? And you just have to kind of read from the top down. You're saying when a user's mouse enters that circle, that's the trigger. What do you want to happen? You want that rectangle or the thumbnail to become visible. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's the first part. Now again, we can kind of test this to see if it works. Again, like the other one, if it does work, it will only be halfway. It does. Right? But only halfway works. I know, because this is Microsoft, and we've got a bunch of people. Why does it only half work? What else do I have to do? Okay. I knew I was going to get the answer, right? Fine, when I'm looking at a room of pure designers, we could be sitting here for half an hour. Okay. And that's me too. But so what we have to do is essentially add another behavior doing the opposite, right? So we have to come in and simply say, add another one. And I'm going to say change property again. And this time, again, I'm going to do the opposite. So the event name is mouse leave. And what do I want to leave? I want thumbnail, visibility, this time to collapse. Okay? So again, opposite logic. I've done this before, so hopefully really works, right? But so when the mouse exits or leaves the circle, we want to collapse the rectangle, which at this point should be visible, right? So let's run. And we should be in good shape. Okay, and we are. So what's kind of fun about this is you're giving the this kind of appearance of interactivity, and it's being done quickly, and it's enough to start to take it further if you need to. So I could put a sample image in here. I could play with that, the shape of that square. I could change the animation if I wanted to. So it's this kind of interesting mix of the design and the code behind that is making this happen. Notice there's all these animation properties up here. So if I wanted to do all that crazy stuff that I showed you earlier, I could do that as well. Okay. For the most part, what you've seen is kind of a really quick tour of some of the prototyping capabilities in Sketch. So what I'd like to do is just kind of open up the floor to a couple questions, and then